One thing I was a little concerned about is Micah Parsons did express disappointment over the lack of a wide receiver pick, and I do agree with that. And I think he knows that like ownership is not gonna go get another guy. Like we literally traded a 4th round pick for Jonathan Mingo last year, who hasn't even seen the field, and that 4th round pick turned into Trevor Etienne, who's a pretty dang good player. So fans like the draft, but they're also confused over the wide receiver. So just a lot of confusion in regards to the wide receiver room, because right now you have Jalen Tolbert lining up as your wide receiver too. This draft gave us a lot of immediate contributors. So in the short term, it'll be great. But in the long term, I'm even more excited because we have a lot of young guys we just drafted who I can see make a big impact on the team. The one thing I'm a little scared about is the cap with all of these talented people. You already have Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and after Micah Parsons' extension, it'll be 50% of the cap room. So where is the money going to go? That's another question for the Jones family. So a lot of questions in that regard.
All right, so first and foremost, and this is what we're all here for as Cowboys fans, how would you rate how we drafted the other night?
I would probably grade the draft at an A- grade, just because there were a lot of picks that I did like, but there were some areas where I wish we did approach and I didn't see the wide receiver position get fixed in this draft, and I feel like that's our biggest area of weakness right now. So that's one thing I was a little disappointed about. But there were a lot of hits, so I was really proud of the draft, actually. What would you grade it from a scale of F to A+?
I would definitely give a high B+, A-. I loved how we drafted. I feel like we were a bit on the more conservative side, which I did like, but we made all the smart decisions we could. I think we got a lot of steals. We got great value for players. I do agree with you. We're lacking at the receiver position, but our defense looks stacked, and we did pick up the Oregon wide receiver, what's his name? Trayshawn Holden, and then also Texas Tech receivers. So those guys, I mean, they're talented, but we'll see how they pan out. But yeah, overall, very solid draft. We filled the gaps we needed to. I think we got a lot of young talent. I want to get your input on your favorite pick, or I think like maybe your favorite like steal that the Cowboys took.
So originally, I wasn't a big fan of this pick. I did not like us picking Tyler Booker at 12. But then I heard his interview, and my perspective on him just completely switched. It made me believe that the Cowboys got someone who truly loved the game of football, and I feel like that's the type of people you need right now. That's coming off a disappointing season. You need people in the locker room to like motivate others to get better every single day, and I feel like Tyler Booker is that person. Yeah. He's very powerful. He has a lot of strength. And I think the reason they did go to Tyler Booker was to replace Zach Martin. So if you wait down the line to replace Zach Martin, you will not get the same level of productivity that you would if you get a guy in the top 12 picks. The reason I think they went with Booker was because McMillan got taken. So that was my pick. I'm really happy with the Tyler Booker pick. Let me ask you the same question. Who was your favorite pick of this draft?
Before I talk about that, I want to add on to what you were saying. I love the Tyler Booker pick, and people are also acting like he's not one of the best guards in this draft. But like you said, I would have taken T-Mac. He's a stud. Him and CD would have been a problem. But we did have, future Hall of Famer and veteran and a great locker room guy in Zach Martin leave us. I also thought maybe we could have taken a tackle. Personally, I hate Terrence Steele. He's a horrible, but we got a great guard, and I mean, it pairs out well with how much running backs we drafted. But I would say my favorite pick is between Donovan I don't know how to say his last name. Ezeraku, the BC edge, and then Siobhan Ravel. Yeah, those two guys, I think they'll bring a lot of firepower to our defense. You already have Micah Parsons, right? One of the best edges in the league. You give him the guidance with Donovan, these two will be a scary duo, kind of like Nick Bosa and Chase Young type duo. I would love to see that out there. I think he's going to start for us early young. And, we had D-Law leave, so that's going to be a huge asset. And what I love about Revel Jr. is the depth we have at corners. We have Trayvon Diggs. We have Deron Bland. We have Josh Butler. And now you add Chevelle Jr. It's going to be a stacked secondary. And I think our defense is going to be one to reckon with. It's going to be a great defense.
Another thing that Cowboys did address in this draft, we have so much depth now. Cornerback room. You can just rotate these bodies. D lineman Jay Toya from UCLA, he can probably play for you.
Big guy.
You re-signed Osa. You have Mozzie Smith, even though he's not great. You have a couple bodies you can rotate in. You have 4 guys that are just pounding. They can really cause some problems. And it just feels like we filled so many holes in this draft. And that's why I'm really proud of it, to be honest with you.
What I love about Howie running back room right now is we have a speed guy, Jadon Blue. We have Miles Sanders, kind of a receiving back. He can run the ball quite well too. Javonte Williams, just a good runner. And then we have another power back in CJ Moff, a huge guy. So, I mean, the situations we have with this running back is making me excited. Like, you go in the goal line, you get a package with CJ Moffa and Javonte. You know, put Miles Sanders in the pass game. Use Jadon Blue with some wheel routes with the speed. Maybe some outside zones. Like, this is endless possibilities with this running back room. And I think what they're also doing is, I feel like this is an idea, is that they are going to implement a lot of these dudes at receiver, especially Jadon Blue, who's a good pass catcher, because we're going to be lacking in that position. They're going to try and use him a lot and get him involved in the pass game.
This season, I think there'll be a lot more gadget plays because we have a lot more gadget players.
Yeah.
We re-signed Turpin in the offseason.
Yeah,
we have Jadon Blue, another speedster. So I'm curious to see what Schottenheimer does with this offense. Even though I didn't love the hire, I still think he's a decent offensive mind. He'll have some creativity. I feel like there needs to be a trade or a signing or something before we go into the season, but I don't know how likely that is given the history of Jerry Jones. So if that were to happen, like, who do you want and who is realistic?
I don't know. I would love to have, like, just any good receiver alongside CD.
Yeah, I feel like it should be like more of like an insurance guy. One more thing is I love what we did with the defense specifically, because I feel like people forget how good of a season Josh Butler was having before that ACL tear.
Yep.
And it's like you have 2 of the premier ball hawks in the league, and you add someone who slipped because of injury concerns, really should have been a high-end second-round pick. I don't know. I'm really excited about the defense.
Yeah, this is making me excited. So the corners, I forgot about Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
So we have 2 guys who love interceptions and love scoring touchdowns. Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland, right? So you have those 2 type of guys. And then we have 2 just great dudes at coverage and lockdowns and man. Josh Butler and Chevelle. And so that's going to be amazing. And the packages on defense we can run with these guys is going to be like crazy.
I feel like you add a lot of athleticism too. It's not like people who are just, like, especially with Ezeraku, I feel like that was like the best pick you could have literally made.
Oh yeah, the value was amazing.
Yeah, I feel like he has one of the highest ceilings in the draft, and I'm really confused as to how he even fell to the Cowboys. I was also confused how Luther Burden fell at the first round, because I feel like they probably would have went with him if he fell like 8 more picks.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of followers. Like, speaking of followers, Shedeur Sanders, I thought we would have probably picked him up just because, you know, money. Jerry Jones loves some money, so that would have brought in a lot of money.
Yeah. And speaking of that, like, I mean, it's just funny how confusing the Browns QB room is right now.
Yeah.
You have Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Shedeur, and Dylan Gabriel, and I'm missing one more?
And Deshaun Watson, yeah.
Deshaun Watson, yeah. That's 5 guys. Like, they're gonna have to cut 2. I'd say they get rid of Joe Flacco and Pickett.
I was gonna say this.
And then maybe they trade one of them, but that's confusing.
We'll
see who wins that out. I mean, I'd say Watson starts, but Shedeur's a backup.
I think Shedeur starts. I don't know why they picked Gabriel before Shedeur to begin with.
It makes, I'm just really mad. I guess they was like, all right, he's still here, let's just take him. But
it didn't make sense.
I don't know, it's weird. I wish we took him, but you know how Dak is with.
We do have a really good backup, actually. We got Joe Milton. I feel like in maybe 2 years, whenever, you know, Dak's time is finally up, like, I feel like he has a lot of talent. I feel like he could be good enough to actually, like, be a pretty good QB. He has big arm. You can just develop him with a guy like Dak. One thing I was a little concerned about is Micah Parsons did express disappointment over the lack of a wide receiver pick. And I do agree with that. And I think he knows that, like, ownership is not going to go get another guy. Like, we literally traded a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo last year, who hasn't even seen the field. And that 4th-round pick turned into Trevor Etienne, who's a pretty dang good player. So, I don't know. I'm kind of curious because, like, fans like the draft, but they're also confused over the wide receiver So I don't know, just a lot of confusion in regards to the wide receiver room, because right now you have Jalen Tolbert lining up as your wide receiver 2. On most other teams, he doesn't even make the depth chart. So
It's gonna be tough. I mean, we still have Jake Ferguson, which solid tight end, but
don't sleep on the Giants this year. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you.
The
They had
Giants,
a great draft. Yeah, I love Abdul Carter.
And then the only thing I was like, come on, like why would they draft Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders? Because I feel like if they didn't trade back in, and then Shedeur had the crazy slip, they could have just got him in like the 4th round, and who's a better player. So that was my one critique.
Also, I feel like a lot of people are. I mean, he's low key a meme on TikTok, but Tyler Shugg, Louisville's quarterback, a lot of people are hating on him, and I think it's also a little messed up that he got picked before Shedeur. But I don't think he's a bad QB.
He's a good player. Why wouldn't the Saints pick Shedeur Sanders either? That's really confusing to me because they need a quarterback. This draft gave us a lot of immediate contributors. So in the short term, it'll be great. But in the long term, I'm even more excited because we have a lot of young guys we just drafted who I can see make a big impact on the team. The one thing I'm a little scared about is the cap with all of these talented people. You already have Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and after Micah Parsons' extension, it'll be 50% of the cap room. So where is the money going to go? That's another question for the Jones family. So a lot of questions in that regard.
All right, to move on now. Just, speaking of the draft as a whole, let me get some of your inputs on like some, steals, some dark horse steals.
I think the biggest steal was the Cardinals getting Will Johnson. I think even with his injuries, he'll be an amazing player because he was supposed to be a consensus top 10 pick. He slipped into like the 2nd round, so I feel like that's a big steal. And an underrated steal, I don't see a lot of people talking about Ezeraku. Like from other teams, I feel like it's only Cowboys Nation talking about him. So I feel like that's going to be an amazing player.
Yeah, and I think Chevelle is also a steal.
What do you think were some steals in like your opinion about this draft?
So I want to talk about like guys who went undrafted. For example, I know the Cardinals picked up. His name is Kobe, right? He's a stud, and I hate to see him go undrafted. He's gonna be a steal for sure, no doubt in my mind. He was an amazing corner who has great ball skills, great coverage, his length. But I also love the Colorado receiver,
Jimmy
Horn, wide receiver too. Jimmy Horn, yeah. JC Horn's brother, right?
I think so, yeah.
He's a steal. I think this dude's underrated. He's small, but I think it's like my dark horse steal in my opinion. He's a stud.
There's still a couple good players that are still on the undrafted free agent market.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think another steal is Georgia's RB, Trevor Etienne. He was a solid running back.
Very deep
and
RB class,
yeah, same with Gunnar Helm. Solid tight end and the Titans.
Scatterboo.
Traded for the
Titans,
Scatterboo. Yeah, and Jack Sawyer to the Steelers. You pair that up with my god, that's gonna be a crazy white duo. And TJ Watt and Jack Sawyer. That's gonna be a duo. That's crazy. And I want to point out, I've seen him play many times, but SMU's running back, Brashard Smith, he ran a 4.3 at the combine. He's a stud, and the Chiefs picked him up. He's small, but he's really a guy you can use. He used to be a receiver. He's a receiver turned running back, and he's small, but he bounces off tackles and he runs with heart. So also, I think Jadon Blue was a decent steal for the value we drafted him at.
Yeah, he has blazing speed as well. He'll be really good.
And I'm also trying to remember, this dude got drafted. It's a D end. He's a bald guy. Oh, yeah. Landon Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
He's a meme on the internet from like a long time ago when he was like 15, doing like mad drills, and he looks super zesty, but he's a beast. He's huge. I think like he's 6'6".
And Shiloh Sanders to the Bucks.
I don't think Shiloh's that good. I think he's overrated.
And the Bucks are going to be the tush-push stop team.
But yeah, Landon Jackson, this guy, he was a beast at Arkansas, and he's huge. He's one of the bigger DNs. He really could play D tackle. He has great bend. He has good hands, and he'll be a really good DN, I think. He's huge. He's 6'6", around 270. He ran like a 4'7", 4'6". I think he's a steal.